Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you stopping by. My name is Randall McClure. This is the McClure's Reaction Review Look at Make Fun of Stuff channel. Today I wouldn't believe this if I didn't just hear it. This is Michael Knowles from the Daily Wire. If you don't know who he is, you should check him out. I was going to say funny. I wouldn't exactly call him funny. I mean, he can be funny, I guess. I'm sorry, Michael. You're funny. You're a funny guy. Let's see what he has to say, though.
The Charlotte Mecklenburg schools in North Carolina are apparently promoting a gay sex guide to seventh graders. Here is a mother showing up to a school board meeting, just reading, and I have instructed, by the way, our editors to...
If you haven't pulled your kids out of public school yet, what is wrong with you? You could potentially be a bad parent. You should internalize. You should internalize.
Bleep this very, very liberally because it's actually scandalous and obscene, and I don't want to expose my listeners to it. But this is the sort of thing that seventh graders are being exposed to in their schools in Carolina.
This book is Gay by Juno Dawson was found in a 7th grade classroom at Collinswood Middle School. It was also on the ELA recommended reading.
The book is just called... Okay, we're only 37 seconds. I'm going to let... Okay.
List for 7th graders at J.M. Robinson. I'm going to read from Chapter 9, The Ins and Outs of Gay Sex, starting at page 201, Part 1, Boy-on-Boy Sex. Perhaps the most important skill you will master as a gay or bi man is a timeless classic, the hand. Good news is you can practice it on yourself. The bad news is each guy has become very used to his own way of getting himself. Learning how to find a partner's personal style can take ages, but it can be very rewarding when you do. A good is all about the wrist action. Rub the head of his back and forth with your hand. Try different speeds and press.
Holy shit. I don't even know if I want to put this on my channel, bro. Whoa. And they said this was 7th grade?
Until he responds positively. A bad is grasping a and shaking it like a ketchup bottle. It's no wonder that 92% of CMS graduating seniors aren't college or career ready when you're instructing them on how to give blow and instead of teaching them how to add and subtract. Superintendent, you stated this book was, quote, brought into the classroom by a teacher with no intent to allow students access. Any teacher that puts material like this on his or her bookshelf is either a bad teacher or a pedophile who grooms children.
Oh, snap. Okay. Call it for what it is. You're either just straight up a bad teacher or a pedophile trying to groom children. Groom children? Is that what you're supposed to say on censored TV?
2 minutes are up.
Here, lady, here. By the way, I cut out some of the most obscene parts.
And shout out censor.tv. I didn't mean to throw you under the bus by comparing you to ScrewTube. Sorry about that.
Okay. That wasn't, and I don't mean to laugh at it. I mean, she has a very good point. She says, you know, maybe if these kids spent more time learning addition and subtraction and less time learning about gay sex, maybe their test scores wouldn't be so bad. But the one that really got me is the ketchup bottle line. And I think this is, I don't mean to laugh, but it's so absurd.
Oh my God, it is.
You wouldn't believe this if you hadn't heard it. I wouldn't believe this had I not heard that.
Right.
And I'm relatively young, and I was in school relatively recently, and so I know how crazy things have gotten. But constantly, when I'm talking to friends and relatives and just people, when I go give speeches who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s sometimes, they don't believe that this stuff is actually happening. But you just heard it. This is in schools. That book, which reads like a cartoon caricature of gay porn, is in 7th grade classrooms. It's on recommended reading lists, okay? That is obviously
Recommended reading list, people. Recommended. We prefer that they read it. That's recommended. We want them to read it.
insane. And then I love the defenses, that obviously dishonest defense, is that, well, no, the teacher just brought it in for what? His or her own reading pleasure. That's creepier. That's even creepier than bringing it in as a learning material. Because then you've just got a teacher reading gay porn in a 7th grade classroom surrounded by 12-year-olds. Just what? To titillate himself? That's even creepier. But obviously it was as part of a teaching material. That's why it was on a recommended reading list. And then, so obviously these teachers should be fired. The book should be banned from the schools. This is just complete. The school board should resign if they tolerate this. Obviously, that goes without saying. Put that aside for a second.
None of that's going to happen.
To the woman's point at the end, this is such an important reminder about the nature of sin and vice. Yes, sin corrupts your soul. Yes, it leads you down the road to perdition. Yes, it has these distorting, perverting effects on your metaphysical self. Another big problem with sin is that it's such a waste of time. All sin is just such a waste of time. When you could be doing good things and edifying things and sanctifying things, you instead do things that are bad and corrosive and just a waste of time. Think about the precious time that you're 12 years old, your brain is so...
That's a very true... That's a very true statement. That should be on a t-shirt or a postcard or calendar or all of the above or something. I like that. I'm going to repeat that.
So malleable. You could be learning foreign languages. You could be learning trigonometry. You could be learning history and dates and facts and things that are going to help you. You could be learning to write and important things in your life. And then that precious time is being wasted learning.
All the things he said, I guess were okay, but you could also learn how to weld, plumb, be an electrician, run a chainsaw, drive a tractor. Possibly more useful things.
About how to handle yourself and your friends like a ketchup bottle. What a dark, sad, in a way kind of funny waste of time. Don't do it. You will die. We were just talking about epic will. You will die someday. Don't, when you get to the accounting at St. Peter's Gate, okay, and you have to account for your whole life. Yeah, there's the good stuff and the bad stuff, but then just think about the waste of time. Like, yeah, I decided in those precious moments of beautiful life that I was given, I decided to read about the ketchup bottle. Don't do that. Do not do that. The rest of the show is continuing now. There are...
Basically, moral of the story is don't read about the ketchup bottle.